One of my favorite parts about the Grand Theft Auto series is their radio stations. I think they have the most diverse soundtrack of any game. I feel like every song put in every single radio station contributes to the world and getting immersed in it, and every song matches the game no matter what Grand Theft Auto game you're playing. I feel like each song in every Grand Theft Auto matches the vibe of the game that you are playing. And we don't really know much about Grand Theft Auto 6's radio stations. So today I'll be talking about my predictions and what we do know about Grand Theft Auto 6's radio station. One thing that's been quote unquote leaked or highly speculated and rumored is that Drake will have his own radio station, which I would not be surprised. I feel like Drake, he's one of the biggest modern rappers of today. Whether you hate him or you love him, you have to admit he is one of the biggest rappers out right now. Pretty much for the last 5, 10 years, he's been one of the biggest rappers out. And I do feel like it would make sense for him to have his own radio station in Grand Theft Auto 6. I know he talks a lot about Miami in his music. I listen to Drake. I know he talks a lot about Miami in his music. I do feel like it would fit the Vice City scene. Although back in the day, Dan Houser would choose and pick every single song going in Grand Theft Auto. Okay, every Grand Theft Auto he worked on, he picked every song that went into every station by himself to make sure it fit the vibe that they were trying to go for on the game. Although Dan Houser is not there now, so I do feel like instead of just picking songs they think will fit the vibe, I do think they're gonna try to pick the songs that are just the most popular and what people want to listen to the most in the game. I feel like we are gonna see Drake. I feel like they're gonna have a radio station for Drake, a radio station for modern hip hop. And I do feel like they're gonna have a radio station for OG hip hop with Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg and Tupac. I feel like they're gonna have all these different stations with all this type of music. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of Taylor Swift just because she's so popular. I don't think we'll see any Kanye. Sadly, I'm a huge Kanye fan. I don't think we're gonna see any Kanye just because of his track record, but I do think we'll see a satire of Kanye in the story somehow. I do think we're gonna see the real. I've been calling them the Demez, but the real Dimes. I call them the Demez, but the sisters or the friends, the rap group in GTA 6, I feel like we'll see them and Jaquan Priest. I feel like we'll see their music on the radio stations of some sort. I do think we're also gonna see radio stations that talk with like podcasts and some sort. There was a rumor that Joe Rogan would have his own radio station, or that he was voice acting in the game somehow with his podcast. I don't know how true that is. That would be very cool. It would make sense for Joe Rogan to be in Grand Theft Auto 6. It would definitely make sense for him to be in the game, but that is not confirmed. But a huge speculation is that SoundCloud may be implemented in Grand Theft Auto 6, which I don't like the idea, actually. I know everyone's thinking, oh, that's so cool. But me personally, I don't think Spotify should be in Grand Theft Auto. I think that back in the day, Dan Houser would pick the songs that fit the game. And if you can just play any song you want, then that kind of takes away the purpose of the music and the purpose of the music in the game and the purpose of the radio stations. And then there's not really any points of radio stations if you can just pick whatever song you want to listen to. Maybe they'll have a satire of Spotify with a limited amount of songs that you can play. But I do think the songs in the game are going to be very diverse, and I don't think they're going to try to pick the songs that fit the game the most. I think instead they're just going to pick whatever's most popular instead, which I think would be a shame. I do think they should just pick the music that matches the game the most, but I do get it from a business standpoint. But we won't know what the radio stations will look like until the game launches, so until then, stay tuned.